Hi, here's the Vanderlei Silva, the ex-Murdoch, and I watch MMA show.
Oh, thanks Vanderlei. Welcome to the MMA show. I'm the Muscle Mole.
Master Wang.
Me from the CP.
Tonight in the show we're going to cover UFC 126, Strikeforce Heavyweight Tournament, MMA rumour and gossip, and most importantly some local MMA shows.
So, UFC 126.
Okay, fight number one, gentlemen. Silva versus Belfort.
Okay, title fight. Anderson Silva, been the champ a long time. For me he's getting old now. Looked very unimpressive in the last fight with Sonnen. How do you see Belfort faring?
I think Belfort, he has the hands, he has the jiu-jitsu skill, he's got the experience, he was the UFC heavyweight champion, he's fought around the world, but I think he's mentally weak. He has just left his training camp. Sean Tompkins moved somewhere else. All that sort of good stuff. I personally don't think he is all there.
He's not fought in well over a year, he's out injured as well, but previous to that he did brutally TKO Rich Franklin, and before that I'm sure some of you have seen Matt Lindland. Well, that was...
And they kept the camera on him whilst he shook for 10 minutes.
Non-UFC event, it did let you see the different production value there. For me, I see Belfort having a good chance. I still think that Silva will be toppled quite soon. Next couple of fights I think he will lose his title. He is getting old. He's struggling with the 5-round fights now. If you see him against Sonnen, you see him against Maya, you see him against Tialis Latis, he hasn't got enough left in the tank to finish MD off. I'm going to pick Belfort, not sure if he will, but somebody's going to beat him pretty soon.
These are very keen observations, and I'll agree with your observations on Silva. His time as a kingpin is close to tumbling, so on that alone I'm going to go Vitor.
Okay, and I'm going to agree, Belfort. That's two. We don't often agree, we have on this occasion.
Excellent. Fight two, gentlemen, is Stewie Griffin versus Ben Franklin.
This is a fight I think a lot of people have been wanting to see for a long time. Forrest Griffin, former 205 champion, versus Rich Franklin, former 185 champion. How do you see it playing out, Master Wang?
Forrest Griffin is huge.
Beast at 205.
Rich Franklin is fairly huge. He's got a master's degree in mathematics, he's a teacher, he's also an opponent of ID, Crazy Christian philosophy. I do apologise to you crazy Christians. Both of them have got degrees, both of them are intelligent, both of them have fought Anderson Silva, both of them have been beat. I think, personally, Rich Franklin's going to win this. He has the skill, the edge, the technical ability.
For me, Griffin has got size and that alone. If you do look at the Anderson Silva fight, I feel, although Forrest Griffin get fucked up, he fared better in terms of striking. I think he's a more clinical striker. I think he will. None of them's got knockout power, although Franklin did knock out Liddell. I don't think he has got him. Beef of the CP could knock out Chuck Liddell, probably quite easily. But I see Franklin winning, on the feet or on the ground.
Rich Franklin?
Rich Franklin.
Rich Franklin. Go home, Forrest Griffin.
Excellent, gentlemen. Okay, fight number three is Tom Jones versus Darth Vader.
Okay.
There we go. Jones. Huge, tall, limbs of steel.
Massive wingspan.
Limbs of Go-Go Gadget Man. Vader is the new Dan Henderson. How do you see it going, Muscle Mole?
This is a fight a lot of people have been wanting to see for a long time. Essentially, both guys are undefeated out with this DQ with Matt Hamill. I think it's going to be. I think the underdog's going to win this fight. Everybody's talking about John Jones. He's a great wrestler, but he's a great wrestler from the clinch, throws, that kind of thing. And he closes the distance with wild, unorthodox strikes, whereas Bader is more a kind of Rashad Evans short kind of thing, double leg, the way Master Wang likes to do. And I think that's going to be the difference in the fight. When Jones tries to close the distance with his wild strikes, I see Bader changing levels and putting him in his ass, and that's where he's going to hurt him. With, as you've said before, with the big Hendo strikes on top.
I think everything you say there is absolutely how I see it in my head. Perfect. I think you're on the money 100%. Can't add anything more to that. That's.
So
I think
are we going to agree in 3 fights here?
Bader, yeah, he's going to scoop him up and he's going to land the big thing and he's just going to out wrestle him, control him, point him. It's going to be sweet. Bader.
So if you want to make some money, put it in Bader. Wee word from our sponsors now.
Yeah. Hey, Master Wank here. This is the Go Fast Sports Competition. The question is, which fantastic energy beverage company sponsors the Real MMA Show? For your chance to win a Go Fast goodie bag, just write it in the comments or on the website. Welcome to Scotland. Hey man, where did you get that great t-shirt?
Why, www.countrymansfist.com. Get yours there.
Check the guys out, Countryman's Fist, Go Fast Sports.
They've supported us, so...
And for alternative MMA news, MMA hit, check them all out. Countryman's Fist, Go Fast, sweet.
Next part of the show, other organisation, Strikeforce Heavyweight Tournament. Something I've really been looking forward to. We're hankering back to the, first of all, Affliction, and then before that with the Pride Grand Prix. This is what we're talking about. Affliction, where they wanted to get the best heavyweights together and see who's the best. We're going to get a chance to see some of that now with Strikeforce.
And fantastic, some of the fighters they've got, we just rattle for them. Verdum, Overeem, Fedor, Antonio Bigfoot Silva, Arlovsky, Katananov, Barnett, and the tyre fitter himself, Brett
Rogers comes with the rest of the rigging crew and that anyway. He's just changing some tyres and shit, and they usually just shoot him in if they need him. But I don't think he should be there.
But what a fantastic tournament, and I think it's going to be big and brutal. You've got some of the best fighters, like truly some of the best heavyweights in the world right there fighting. So the first fight is Verdum versus Overeem, so you get the guy who beat Fedor versus the champ, and the second in that bracket is Fedor versus Bigfoot. Fantastic.
I see Reem and Fedor coming out of that side of the bracket, to be honest with you. I see Reem knocking Verdum out quite easily, and I think Fedor's going to be back with a vengeance. He's going to be remotivated after his loss. And for me, Bigfoot Silva isn't that impressive. He is what he is, he's big, but he's not particularly technical. I think Fedor will rape him on the ground or on his feet.
Hell yeah.
Second section.
Yep.
Arlovsky versus Katarov, and Josh Barnett, Brett Rogers. As I've said, don't think Brett Rogers should be there. I'm tipping Josh Barnett, juiced up of course, to win the tournament.
So Josh Barnett is going to beat the Brett, the tyre fitter, Grim Reaper Rogers. Arlovsky, Sergey Kantanov is a fantastic sort of sambo practitioner, but he's also fought in K1, so that'll be a good striking match, whoever wins. Verdum, I reckon, is going to be beat by Fedor.
I would like to see that.
On that side of the bracket, and then Fedor fighting at last Josh Barnett for the tournament win, but they do not get the Strikeforce heavyweight title.
It is pointless no way. You could beat the champion but not be the champion. You could win the tournament and you're still not the heavyweight champion. So although it's entertaining, from a cynical point of view, you could say, what's the point?
What is the point? The point is, if you beat, say for instance, Verdum beats Overeem, and then Verdum beats Fedor, yeah, and then Verdum beats Overeem, then Verdum beats Josh Barnett, then he is the champ. He's beat the champ, but he's not the champ.
So it's a pretty crazy scenario. A couple other fights to check out in Strikeforce. Robbie Lawler versus Jacare Souza for the title. I think Lawler's going to knock him out. Diaz versus Cyborg. Again, I don't particularly like Diaz. I think he's overrated, but so is Cyborg, so I'm going Diaz.
Sister Calman's quite hot.
Some strange things happening in that heavyweight tournament. No, they have a thing where if it goes to the judges, then they have a Strikeforce judge who will come in and determine who wins or loses, which I think is very strange. How does that work? They have a Strikeforce official who determines.
And you better believe if it's Fedor, there's an M1 Global guy standing at the back working him like a puppet.
Big Russian dude. And also they have the alternates. You know, an alternate could win.
You can be shooed in and win the thing.
Yeah, one fight, win, being fresh, and get a chance to fight Overeem.
It's a good thing, but the structure's strange. So we'll see how it plays out.
It'll be fantastic.
Check it out anyway.
So we have MMA World.
MMA World.
We've got a couple of fantastic rumours, local gossip and all that sort of good stuff. So I'll go for the local fights first. We get SFC, Scottish Fight Challenge 4. There's going to be 3 titles on this. Some fantastic fights.
We were at SFC 3. Rocked. What a great place. Great card. Great fights. Only say good stuff about it. I hope SFC 4's is good.
And you can check that all the photos from SFC3 on the MMAshow.info, and also On Top, who are doing one in Celtic Park, and it's probably going to have one between that and SFC4 for the best Scottish card this year. It's going to be fantastic fighters. Will the
MMA boys be there?
Hopefully
we'll get an invite to be there.
Because we are the MMA
so
show.
if you want to meet us, we'll probably be there. Signing autographs and all that good stuff.
Selling t-shirts
and other merchandise.
Okay, so what we got happening in MMA world? Get these people, MMA universe, let them know what's the deal, what's happening,
all
what's
right.
cracking, what's the breeze, what's doing with the kids, what we're chatting here, my man.
Last UFC event was a Fight for the Troops. It was a free event. They managed to achieve 2.5 million viewers, which is quite impressive. If they can now translate some of that to the next pay-per-view event, which I think is the idea of the whole thing. I don't think it's anything to do with the troops.
Do you know what was impressive? Mick Jones was impressive. Meathead was impressive. He is the future of the heavyweight.
And who suffered through to that? Big Tim Hague has now been cut after his ass whipping.
Aye, and it was an ass whipping.
Melvin Gillard, another guy that fought in that. Ken Flo's been starting to run his mouth about him. Gillard says he would whip him easy, but he doesn't want to fight him. Seems a strange one. Other guys under a wee bit of pressure, you've got Machida and Ortiz. Big Dana boy saying it's a must-win fight for both. Ortiz says regardless he don't want to retire, so we might see him in Strikeforce soon. Fighting Chuck Liddell.
Who was the guy who knocked out Ortiz in a London alleyway?
Lee Murray. He's in a Moroccan jail now though.
Moroccan jail, but he's recently wrote something in a blog that he's smuggled out, which basically said one of the beautiful things about being in jail is watching porn, and his favourite porn star is he talks about, so he's still dishing the dirt to Tito.
Still rubbing his nose in it. Other big thing that's happening, everybody in MMA is talking about the news, the new Tough series, the coaches.
Brock Lesnar, Junior Dos Santos, stroke Anderson Silva.
This has obviously been all because of Cain Velasquez is injured. This has had to move this forward. So you're going to get Brock, which I think he's not been in the game that long, so I don't know how good a coach he'll be. And then also you've got Dos Santos. His English isn't great, but you're going to get the Black House guys there, which is going to make for good TV as well.
I think the coaching is going to be fantastic because Brock says he's a champ. You know what I mean? He's been a top level competitor all his days, and you're going to get folk like the combat submission wrestling main guy, Eric Paulson, stuff like that. You know, top guys, and that team showing. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Other big fights coming up: Crocop versus Brendan Schaub. That'll be interesting. I see Brendan Schaub slowly building his way up here. I think he could do quite well.
The hybrid has stated that he is terrified of Crocop, but he loves to be terrified of people like Crocop.
After seeing what he done to Gonzaga, I think he'll actually dispatch a Crocop quite easily, which I'm sad to say because I'm a big fan of Crocop. Other big fights, big guys at their weight. Dan Hardy, huge welterweight. Nowhere near as big as Rumble Johnson. He is massive.
He's bigger than Arlovsky.
If he can cut weight to 170, because he's been out a while, I'll be surprised, but I hope he does and knocks Hardy out, to be quite honest. Anything else? I'd just like to congratulations to Jens Pulver. He's 1,000th time of trying. He's now won a fight. Well done, Jens.
There we go.
Well, subscribing, gents. On Facebook.
What we're looking for here, get subscribing, get your comments your picks.
We really appreciate any person who watches it, writes a comment, and all. We like to write back, and we really appreciate our core followers.
We've got a loyal following there, and we all both appreciate that.
Ken, folk for Ireland, Singapore, we appreciate it, and Scotland, thank you. Nice one. We are the MMA show, Master Wang.
Muscle Mo.
B from the CP.
Keep it rocking, go fast.
Excellent.
How were we for time there, Shaggy Boss?
Shaggy Boss!